And
Okay, so this week, yeah, just put everything on hold. Mute. Yeah, Alberto, just put yourself on mute for a sec. There you go. Perfect. Okay, so really interesting class I thought this week. I'm going to try sum it up in an hour if I can, but bear with me, okay? You'll need some space. We'll start on the ground. We'll kind of work our way up. So this week I talked a lot about, and I was working with the nervous system, but I'm going to preface this. I hope if you get a chance, guys, on the Signal chat that I have for the Fight Club, I posted a podcast by somebody who talks about, who explained a little bit of some of the class I taught. So I found an explanation for the things I was teaching. And hold on, so an explanation for what I was teaching. So what we worked with was the nervous system. Okay, now it's not one nervous system. It's not one nervous system. It's multiple nervous systems. Okay, so in other words, there's many layers to the nervous system, and the layer. So if you imagine a book has many pages to it, there's a layer of the nervous system that is dedicated to responding to things that are unpredictable. So things that like falling or dropping a cell phone, you have no motor program in your mind to make that. That was an unusual act, like slipping on ice. There's no motor program for that. The nerves will respond as they respond, but to a surprise event. So a lot of people train the nervous system in predictable ways, right? Like, so they follow a predictable pattern, right? This is not that. So what I was trying to get at is have people allow their nervous system to respond the way it needs to respond. The only thing I need you to focus on is on being comfortable. That's all. So it's very much like, you go through a haunted house, like we got Halloween coming up, you go through a haunted house, you know that you're going to be scared, right? You know you're going to be scared. But you hold yourself, right? Because that person is just trying to scare you, right? So to a degree, it's kind of predictable. But imagine if you didn't know that and somebody scared you and it wasn't Halloween, right? And you really let yourself go, right? And you see what happens, right? It'll be almost a different response for everybody. So we're gonna do a series of things, and then what we did in class was we did them for a long time. I mean, I think it was, if we had an hour and a half class, it was probably 40 minutes of the hour and a half was dedicated to the warm up of that attribute. Now that doesn't mean push-ups and stuff, but it means some stuff I'm going to show you. Remember, we're looking for a layer of the nervous system that is responsible for adapting to unpredictable or things that we don't have in our memory, the things that are new. Okay. Now we have evolved because when we were going through the jungle, there were things that we knew and we needed to respond to, but then there were things that we didn't know. We've never seen this before, right? And you can see the military applications. It's always an ambush. There's always a weapon that you're not ready for. There's always a situation that will come up where you have no reference points. So you need to allow that part of the nervous system to take over. If you allow the predictable nervous system, it won't work. It'll fail, guys. It'll fail. You'll be slow and you'll fall. You ever seen that joke where a guy, you hear something, it's dark, and then somebody takes a rock and throws it over this way, and you hear it over there. So you look over there, but then the person goes the other way. You see, like your nervous system is predictable. He says, if you hear something, you're going to look that way, right? But the person that knows that they're going to be tricked hears that and looks that way. He looks over there, right? It's very much like a pickpocket. Somebody bumps you, they want to distract you. So the first time you get bumped is don't get distracted. Don't get fooled, right? So that's a different part of the nervous system. So let's see if we can touch that. And then when we do that, then we're going to put it over to martial arts, because so much of martial arts is unpredictable things. And we're not able to let our nervous system go and solve this problem. We're trying to think about it, which is, you guys always hear me say, stop thinking, stop thinking. Well, this is that. This is that, but in a different way. The brain is the central nervous system. So we want to let the nerve that is responsible for things that are not in our brain to take over. not try to have our brain figure this out, okay? Makes sense, guys? You got it? We're all good? Okay. So first part we're gonna do, because we wanna prepare our nervous system, and by doing that, and especially in the arms and legs. So you're gonna lie down, okay? So everybody lie down. This is how we began the class, okay? So lie down, and you're gonna breathe in and tense up just your arms and legs, okay? And the trick is, if I tense them up for, let's say, 5 seconds, when I breathe out and relax my arms and legs, I have to do it for twice the time, which is 10 seconds. So as I breathe out, it's so I breathe in, I tense up my arms and legs only for 5 seconds. And then for 10 seconds, I breathe out, and I take twice the time to really make sure my nervous system is relaxed, or the arms and legs are relaxed. Okay, good, guys. Very good. That's it. Just a little bit. Okay, now you're going to come up and you're going to sit on your bum. Okay, you come up and sit on your bum. And what I want you to do now is go on one bum cheek. So there's going to be one leg in the air, and you're on the bum cheek, the thigh, and maybe your foot. So that the side of your leg is on the ground. And what I want you to do is very slowly find your balance on that one leg. Okay, so the leg's on the ground, everything else is in the air. And what I want you to do is not keep your balance. That's separate. That's predictable. What I want you to do is try to relax in these uncomfortable positions. Okay, and then you can constantly change it. You can go to the other side too. So you find an uncomfortable position and you try to relax yourself in this uncomfortable position, not keep your balance. Okay, keep your balance is something different. So you're moving from one butt cheek to the other, you're finding unusual positions, and then trying to relax as much as you can in those positions. Okay, so again, you're keep working, guys. I'll just explain it. So what you're doing is you're training your nervous system when it's uncomfortable to when it's in an odd position to find comfort. So through breathing, through relaxation, you will also find your balance when you find your comfort, but that's not the main goal, because you can find balance but be uncomfortable. And that's not what I want. I want you to first look for comfort, and if you fall, that's fine. It's fall. Just put your hand down and find your balance again. The main goal is to find comfort in uncomfortable situations, and as a byproduct, you have balance, but not the main goal. So you want to challenge yourself. So really go far, because again, it's not balance. If you have to fall, you fall, but you're training your nervous system. We're looking for that layer of the nervous system that is looking for unpredictable things, not a known pattern. So you really need to get unusual with it. Sometimes look, change your hand position, you know, really. Good, guys, stop for a second, guys, stop. So let me explain this to you. So your balance or your equilibrium in your head is done by three ways. So there's names for them, but you don't need. So there's up and down, left and right, and this way. Okay. So when you're in these unusual positions, if you turn your head side to side or up, so if I'm in this position here, right, I'm looking straight. If I turn my head up, it changes it. If I turn my head down, it changes it. If I turn my head kind of like sideways, it also changes it. So your equilibrium and your balance is registered more by the pitch of your head, right? You don't need to make massive changes in your hands. It's by pitches in the brain activity by the position of your head. You ever seen a dog when you do something unusual, you see the position it does its head, right? Every dog does it. It's so funny. It's like they turn it to the side, right? But people don't do this. But watch how when you look at something and you look at it like this, you look at it like this, and you look at it like this, you look at it, and then you go like this. Very different, right? So there's names for it like this, or down, up, left, right. But this one, I think it's known as a yaw. I correct me, yaw. I don't know why that something like this. So when you're in this position, right? Sometimes play with your head position, and you'll see that balance is gone. I don't want you to focus on balance. I want you to focus on being comfort. So sometimes you're changing your head position will mess up your balance, which gets the nerve, is fiber that I want. Try it. Play with your head position. Your hands too, but mostly your head position. That changes it all. So when you find your balance by changing your head a little bit, makes a huge difference. Ah, Miro, very good. Already making it harder for yourself. Very good. Okay, good. Come close. Questions or it all makes sense? I want to put up, okay, good. So remember, we need to be specific. I gave the example of a book with many pages to the book. Your nervous system is exactly the same way. There's many pair. We're looking for a specific chapter within this book that we want to make sure we go back to. So not balance, uncomfort, and allowing a nervous system to take over that is ready for surprising things. Okay, now, next one. You're on both, everything is up. So you're on both bum cheeks. So you're up like that, okay? You find your balance. So again, you start to move your arms. As you lose your balance, find your comfort. So you're on both. So now it's like a V. It's not a muscular thing. Remember, it's not muscular. We're trying to mess with our balance and find comfort. Keep going, guys. Keep going. Let me just watch you. Keep going. Remember, don't allow yourself to find stability. As soon as you find some balance, change a little bit. Surprise your body in a funny way. Let it surprise. Don't make it, guess, be happy. I don't know what you want to say. Just comfortable. It's like you want to do it many times in one cycle. Head, pitching, turning. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Very good. Okay. So not bad. Miro has something there. You can see it. So Miro, you see what he's on? He's like a wobble board. He's kind of a manufactured wobble board, right? These things are great too if you have them. They're really wish. Now, believe it or not, if Miro is very good at this wobble board, like he's gonna stand on it, Miro, stand on it, right? So right now, see how he's holding his balance? There's no nervous activity to that chapter that I want. It's a known, he knows how to do this now. You understand? So in order for Miro to the benefit, he needs to not focus on his balance, but focus on getting uncomfortable. So moving it more side to side. And if he falls, he falls. But he doesn't allow his brain to understand that behavior. It's his nervous system it cannot find the pattern. It should not find the pattern. Yeah, Alberto, that one's pretty good. Yeah. So how I would do it here was if I would start pushing you guys. So you'd be on that wobble board, and as I'm pushing you, now your body does not have a program for being pushed on the wobble board. It has a program now for this, right? Does that make sense, guys? You understand that? So handstands are a perfect example. You've got these guys that can do handstands. Well, all the benefits are immediate, but after a while, you know how to do a handstand. It doesn't matter. So that nervous system is not being activated. You need to surprise the nervous system for that to be activated, that chapter that we want. So once you figure it out, there's no more, it's now a program that's already there. It's already a program that's already there and has a problem for you. Okay, we're not developing the one we need. Okay, that's all. So so for Miro to get more, or for Alberto to get more effect, you have to have somebody pushing you or constantly not allow yourself to find balance, but find more comfort in that balance. Okay, how many of you have ever fallen before Systema and then after Systema? Now that I fall after Systema, I still don't like to fall, but it seems like from all the years of falling, I know how to slow myself down as I fall. I actually catch myself now when I fall, and some of the students here, their partners have commented, "Oh my God, you fall so gracefully now." It's like I can't stop falling, but I'm more comfortable with it. So because of that, I'm not so, my nervous system is not so tight, right? Makes sense? Because think of it, as I get older, when I was younger, I would hold my tongue. Now I say a lot more because I don't have as much time. So I just say whatever I want to say now, right? It's something beautiful about being around older people because they just say, there's no restriction. The nervous system lets anything out. They don't care. It's like you're not trying to hold your nervous system back. You're just letting it go. You're letting it try to find that, okay? Next position. Let's go. Next position, okay? So on your knees, we'll start to work our way up, right? So you're on your knees, right? You can see me here. So now I'm going to go up on one knee, okay? So I'm on one knee, and I'm trying to find not balance, but comfort. If I have to put my hand, I put my hand, but I come back. So I'm looking to be unstable and to get comfortable in this position. If you fall, I can switch knees, right? So at the beginning, I'm just trying to find my comfort on one knee, okay? And again, the further out you reach, the harder. The more you turn your head, you'll start to see that really messes with your with holding balance. So, which is a good thing. We don't want to do that. We want to mess with it now. And again, study how to let the nervous system figure things out, like that layer that we want, not the mind. Okay, sit for a second. Again, from a seated position now, breathe in, tense up your arms and legs a little bit. So again, it doesn't have to be full out tension, but just some tension, because the tension activates the nerves. And then spend twice as long relaxing it. So why you're doing this, because you want to clearly work with the nervous system. So by tensing up, I find my nerves in my arms, because nerves fire muscles. And then by taking twice as long, I study a little bit longer how to relax them. I see lots of people getting really good at drills. What I try to get really good at is trying to understand what the drill is trying to teach me. So I always keep coming back to that. I don't want to get good at doing drills. I want to get good at what they're supposed to be teaching, not perfecting a drill, right? So I want the nervous system now, and I want to know how to calm down more. So twice, I'm giving it twice as much attention now. Good. Okay, so I found my reason again, my purpose. One more time. Come on up onto your knee. Yeah. So come up on one. Again, look, find that nerve. Find the one that's not for balance, but the one that's for getting uncomfortable and comfort in uncomfort. Find your breathing, find your relaxation. Really good, guys. Slide down your stomach. Again, hands and arms wide apart. All right. So breathe in, tense up the arms and legs. Twice as long, relax them from this position. Okay, good. Come on up. Come on up into a push-up, right? So, or actually, you don't even need to do a push-up. You can stay on your knees, actually. Let's work on this more. So, so one hand, one leg up. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Start to move them around. Yeah. And you can switch whenever you want. Again, the further you reach, the more you're challenging and being uncomfortable in this situation. And the more you turn your head and look around, you challenge yourself. Yeah. If you want to explore the full push-up, it's yours, your experience too. If you want to, it's fine. All right. But again, main focus is uncomfortable, comfort in uncomfortable situations, not balance. Good. Lie down one more time. Open your arms and legs. Again, inhale, tense them up a little bit. Exhale, focus twice as long on relaxing them. Awesome, guys. Slowly stand up. Okay, great. Good. Okay. I think you see where this is kind of going slowly, right? So tomorrow, when people grab you or they start to punch you and you start to move, you become much more content with allowing the nervous system that adapts to things it doesn't know to take over, rather than the nervous system that's looking for something that's a pattern you know. This is difficult. This is why some techniques don't work against surprise events. This is what happens, right? So keep in mind, you have to practice this. Like I've been doing this, what I'm teaching you today, I did Sunday myself. I taught it Monday to the kids class, Tuesday to the adults, Wednesday to the kids, Thursday, yesterday to the adults, and now to you guys. So I'm doing it almost 5 days in a row, and I'm starting to feel it now more than I before. So it takes a little practice, right? This is the key. So now from standing, okay, so we started on the ground, on our knees. Now from standing, I come up, I find I'm on one foot, and again, I start to move around. I'm not trying to keep my balance. I'm trying to kind of get into these unusual positions and find comfort. And then you can switch whenever you want. Again, if you want to imagine somebody pushing you, and forcing the instability and you to find comfort in it, right? Not balance. Balance just a byproduct because you're comfortable. It's not my goal. Good. Stay nice and still now, like standing position. Again, breathe in, tense up your arms and legs. Just a little bit, like 50%. Exhale twice as long, relax the arms and legs. You should hopefully by now start to feel what it feels like when the nerve releases, and the nerve, then the muscle releases. So it's like you start to feel how you relax the nerves, relaxes the muscle. You guys, just watch me for a quick second. Small corrections, okay? I can see some of it, but I'm not sure. So when I tell you relax, right? So I don't know. I'll get a close up of my arm. So when I just look at my arm, right? So I breathe in, I tense up, and as I breathe out and relax my nerve, I breathe out. Do you see anything changing? There, I want to make myself my muscles fine, but I'm not like locking myself, and I'm also not relaxing. I'm not seeing like a big move, right? So as I tense up and as I relax, the outside part of me, the shell, stays the same. I relax inside. I tense up inside. It's not like I blow myself up like a right, not like that. That's what some people do when I at the fight club after I hit them. You don't blow. You become strong inside, right? Like when you become healthy, it's like inside you get. So as you breathe in and tense up your arms and legs, try not to let them change or puff up too much. Just make them strong. And then as you exhale and relax, don't let the structure break. Keep the shell. So it's like, like the shell always stays the same, the inside relaxed. This way, when people grab you or start to fight, when you relax, you don't collapse, as they say. You don't like become weak. You outside shell of you should be the same. In other words, you want to find relaxation as a power, as something strong, not something weak of some sort, right? Like you feel weaker because you relaxed. You should feel the relaxation was strength. Good. One more time now, up on one foot. Start to let it go. And hopefully by now, you're able to kind of let your body go and not think about balance, but think about comfort, right? You just let your body move and it balances itself. You just have to think about relaxing. Okay, guys, come close. So talk to me. How did it feel? Could you feel you care less and less about balance and more about relaxing? Could you feel that your nerves are really the ones in charge of your muscles, not your muscles? Like you realize, like part of systemic training for me, guys, is that you start to go past what you think is the problem. Like in Toronto, I'll give you an example in our society. People start to see young kids getting in trouble, and they say, "Oh, young kids these days, they're getting into trouble." They always say this kind of stuff. But if you take a different look, if you look a little bit deeper, you realize there wasn't as many sports teams as there was 10 years ago. There wasn't as many activities after school as there was 10 years ago. You see what I mean? Then you start to realize that the kids in the past had more options to get to be part of teams and clubs rather than gangs. So they had nothing to do, so they found trouble. That's what happens. So it's not the kids. It's the problem is one or two layers deeper, right? You say the same thing. When you say you have a problem, you say it, but you didn't go deep enough to say maybe it's a different layer of the problem. So I told you guys this before, don't be outcome oriented, be process oriented. I can't control my balance. I can control my relaxation for sure. Balance comes and goes, right? So I have to study how to let that go. If I fall, but I can't control that. Maybe some patch of ice I step on and I fall, I can't control that. But what I can control when I fall is how relaxed I am. So will you be able to relax yourself in the middle as you fall down a pair of stairs? That's a process. That's not an outcome. I cannot control outcomes. I can only control processes. I don't know how long I'm going to live for. I can only control what I eat and how I think and the healthy. So you got to always be reminded to be process oriented. The problem is our society is always outcome oriented. How much money do you have? What job do you do? Where do you? It's always like that. But the real guys that live a good life are process oriented, and the rest takes care of itself. The rest takes care of itself, okay? So what's missing from today's lesson that I'm showing you is somebody now grabbing you. And for you, allowing your nervous system to say, figure it out. I don't know what it is. Figure it out, right? Figure it out. I do this with my kids all the time. I know the solution. I can see the solution, but they don't. So I look at them, figure it out. Figure that out, right? So imagine if you could talk to yourself if you were 20 years older. Well, I got to be careful because that would make me pretty old. If I could 20 years old, what would I tell myself? How many people do that? If you could go back to when I'm 50 now, if I could go back to when I was 30, what would I tell myself? So now it's like, these are the things you're telling yourself now. If I could tell you guys some advice when people grab you, stop thinking. So I've said it so many times, but maybe today's lesson and the podcast explains how that works, because it's not magic. It is a part of our evolution that we went to new places and encountered new animals, new tribes, new weapons, new climates, and we adapted because we allowed that part of our nervous system that knows how to adapt. How? It just knows how to adapt. It doesn't know how to think yet. It will though. And that's why I tell people, before human beings were conquerors, they were explorers. You see what I mean? So before you decide to conquer another person, I need you to explore yourself a little bit more. Then when you know yourself and you know that person, you can conquer them for sure. But you can't conquer them unless you can know how to explore them. So what I showed today about there is exploring this layer of nervous system that is for unpredictable things. And I showed you how to do it with a balance and some exercises. And then the only thing missing is somebody doing martial arts, punching and kicking you and you adapting. That's all. So it's all there. But ask me questions, guys. I don't want to keep rambling. Do you understand where it's going? If you haven't watched the podcast, I know it's an hour long. It's a long one, but I can guarantee you that 80% of that damn podcast that's on the Signal chat is absolute gold. It's absolute. When I was listening to it, I could just see Michael and Vlad's teachings over the years that went over everybody's head, but that I remembered. And now I'm like, that we need to look at this again. Okay. We need to look at this. And like, I hope down the road that the students that come after me also relook at the stuff I'm trying to teach you, because maybe I didn't have the words to express how much I knew in words, but I'm showing a lot, but I just didn't understand how to express it, right? As you get older, you learn how to express it, right? So I hope, you guys can watch this and watch that podcast and connect teachings of what Systema is doing, because not just for me, for any of the great teachers, they're saying the same message about the nervous system. Please watch it, practice some of this. I did it 5 days in a row and I'm seeing something new every time I do it. So quite powerful. Okay, guys? Unless you have questions, ask me, because I don't want to keep rambling. It's a lot in this class. There's a lot of stuff. And Karen saw the class on Tuesday, so maybe she can give a couple insights how the class felt, if just to kind of help everybody connect, if she wants to, or maybe she doesn't want to do that. Okay, okay, go ahead. I got it.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, my experience, I wanted to go yesterday to class, but I think that's also related to what happened on Tuesday. So Tuesday, and you guys may have seen this a little bit just in the exercises we were doing right now, is from the first time you do them to the second time you do them. For some of you, there may be a big change. For me, there was a subtle shift of, I could tell I was more relaxed. Mm-hmm. What I didn't realize is just how much I was relaxing because we were doing ongoing exercises and one thing built on another. But by the end, when I was wrestling with my partner, who's a partner I've wrestled with many, many times. He's very experienced. He's been with Systema for, I don't know, 10, 15 years. And I couldn't believe, I love wrestling, but I couldn't believe the difference. It was like butter. It was like soft butter. It was just the way we moved together, the way the flow went. There's no words to describe that level of connection.
Yeah. So thank you, Karen. That's beautifully said. Can you imagine if before we did training, I gave you guys an hour of acupuncture? I relaxed all your nerves. Can you imagine how you would fight? Just think about that, guys. Why can all athletes that I've met in my life are looking to show up to their competitions and their events as relaxed as they possibly can to perform their best they can. But for some reason, as martial artists, we feel that we need to be jacked up to do this. You don't need to be, right? We don't need to be. You need more patience to deal with those people, not more anger or more tension. You need more patience to deal with them. That's all, right? And if you don't believe me, it was in Kung Fu Panda. Figure it out. Oh, there it is. So you can always reference Kung Fu Panda. That's going to be in my chronicles. Anyway, thank you, Karen. Guys, thank you for everybody. I don't just re-go over it. There's just so much there. I can't. I did my best to cover it off, but for you guys, when you're training in martial arts, try to find comfort in uncomfortable situations, not weakness, but comfort in uncomfortable situations, and then allow that part of your nervous system that can figure things out without your brain to take over. It's there. You just got to work with it a little bit more. Okay. See you next week, guys.
Okay, many thanks.
Be well, everybody. Take care.
Great weekend.
Have a nice weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.